Hey, what's up, guys? Today, I wanted to actually take a look into a side that I don't get to showcase as often here on the channel. And what I'm gonna do is actually go into my producing side. I don't get to like show off many beats and stuff on here because the rapping has taken much more of my focus, and I've been using other producers' beats. Even though I do still have some of my own in the upcoming project, but yeah, I haven't been making a lot of beats lately because I've mainly been focusing on the writing aspect of my craft. So today we're gonna look at two different beats. One of them I'm going to be starting off with, is actually a beat that my cousin really enjoys. And I figured I'd take a look at how I ended up creating it and kind of like my thought process when I was going through it. So I came across this cool little song called Heartbeat Heartbreak that was pretty darn dope. From Persona 3 or 4, I'm not sure which one, I think it's 3. And I was like, yo, this is kind of cool and I likes it. I need to go ahead and do something to it. And so I chopped up the samples in Acid Express. That's another editing software that I use. And it's like what I use to kind of record my own music in. But that's where I usually go to chop up my samples instead of doing it in FL Studio, because the way I use FL Studio is actually extremely unorthodox. And that's due to the fact growing up, I used to have Acid Music, like 3.0 back when I was living in Kansas, and it's a looped based production software, and so I always used loops to make beats. And therefore, when I ended up finally getting FL Studio, I kind of started just making loops and then taking those and putting it into Acid Express and making the rest of the beat there, and then finishing up the rest of the mastering, mixing and mastering back in FL Studio. Yes, it's a really weird thing to do, and it doesn't make any sense because it makes me lose quality and junk, but until I decide to learn how to do it properly, that's kind of how I've been making beats lately, for many years. But anyway, found this cool sample, and just a little something nice like this. And then I had this little chopping part here, and I actually had 8 different chops from the song. And I was thinking, man, I could totally flip this funk junk and make it be maybe like a chipmunk style, Kanye West kind of because it's just cool, it's jazzy, and I figured I could do like a pitch up, maybe speed up or something like that. And so basically it was gonna be something along these lines. I don't have anything. I'm gonna have it just play the samples. And as you can see, I just kind of pitched it up right over here. I was just going to do something like that. Let's see if I can do something cool with this. But when I ended up trying to make a beat around it, it just wasn't coming out right. Because this is kind of like how it was starting off. I was like, this is uninteresting, it's very bland, and I don't like it. So I was like, scrap that, let's try something different. And I just kept it off to the side just in case I wanted to come back and tweak it from the way it is. But I knew I wanted to just start off from scratch and do something completely different with the sample. And so I figured, how about what I do is reverse it. That way I don't have to really compete with the drums and the sample, and throw a filter on it just for a little bit more drowning out of the drums, and you end up getting something more along these lines here. Just give me a sec and I'll throw it onto the pattern. So you ended up getting this. And if you switch it to the other, and I was like, man, this sounds mad dope. I like that. And then so basically from there, I'm like, well, might as well go ahead and get like your claps in there, right? So let me go ahead and add that in, so people would be able to tell how this mug goes. And so you end up getting, now you finally got your basses, so you can tell where your beats are, your downbeats are. And I was like, yeah, this sounds mad dope. I like this. So let's go ahead and add a kick in here. And I was like, yeah, I like that. And so I figured I'd add shaking. Let's get a little more things to add in there. So just add that little just to add a little bit more personality. And then on like the second half, you would go ahead and have to speed it up to keep that energy connected. Like,
you want to bite, but it's something for you to chew.
So I was like, yeah, that's dope. I like that. So I figured, well, what else can I do to this? I want to add a little bit more instruments, so it's not just me adding percussion and that's it. And also, I might as well go ahead and let you hear what I did with the bass line as well, since I didn't show you this. You know what would sound good on this? Horns. So I was like, but do I even really have a good horn sound? And I came across this. If it wants to play for me. Hold on a sec. I was like, yeah, I could use this. So I ended up creating this little thing. And I was like, yeah, that sounds good. But to beef it up, let's give it a harmony note, some harmony notes. You know. And basically, you end up with a little something like this. And I was like, yeah, that sounds mad dope. So put that over the sample, and that is going to sound fresh. So you end up getting... add that bass in there. And now it sounds fresh. Sounds cool. So what what else could I add to this thing to make it even sound better? Well, when it goes to the second half, should I keep the horns going? Because I don't know if that is going to work. If I can, because the thing is, I feel the vocal part does enough to not warrant the horns. So I thought, what would be good to have in the back? Maybe like a saxophone type thing. But at the time, I didn't really have a good sax sound, so I was like, well, maybe this instrument will do just fine. Let me make sure it's on. So I figured I'd just use a lovely string note, but we're gonna play it high. And then it just sounds like a cool little synthesizer thing, since it's just playing the strings. I think it kind of sounds like it's a string bass. So instead of just having to be like that, you play it really high, and then it sounds like a synth lead. And I just play the synth lead as if it was like maybe a saxophone or something like that. So you end up getting this lovely solo here. And I add the little grace notes just to give a little bit more of that saxophone like feeling. But then I was like, well, if I just have it randomly pop in there, it wouldn't sound good. So to remedy that, I'll have it like kind of fade in into the from the background, and so you end up getting something more like this. It's just there in the background, and then even on the Acid Pro, what I did is I had it even fade in. That way, it's introduced, and it doesn't come out of nowhere. So when you have that sample on there, it sounds nice. But I figured I'd also give it another way to easily go to the next part of transition. And so I added the triangle. And then you end up getting the beat. And then the way you end it is basically you just have it go ahead and play the song outright. So out here jamming, and what's the best way to end it? Well, just go to the original sentence, play it outright. So yeah, that's how Station Break was created, and I was just like, hey, it's a simple groove. I can go ahead and just use that as a little interlude on my mixtape. I Digress. That's how that mug came about. So hopefully, Izzy, you enjoyed that, seeing kind of how I created it. But now let's move on to another thing that I ended up doing that was pretty deep. We're going to go ahead and open up a little thing. Oh my goodness. I want to go ahead and let you guys hear something from another song that I really enjoyed making. And I don't think it's on here anymore. Now that I think about it, is it gone? Do I not have it anymore? I thought I still had it. Oh no. Guys, I don't have it. So I guess I'm gonna go up and do a different song, it seems. Hold on. Do the Yoko Combo. Hold on. Do the Yoko Combo. Yeah. Wow. I really don't have it anymore. Alright, cool. Alright. So we're going to go ahead into something else that I ended up creating. Just trying to figure out which one I want to end up doing. So the last, I guess I'll go ahead and show you the last beat I did. That way you could see a little bit of the variety that I have here. So I had this song I did for a good friend of mine, and I figured I'd try, since I didn't already have a beat made that I felt fit her. I was like, man, I have to make something that's just right for this girl, because otherwise it's just not gonna be right. So I ended up creating something around a sample that I felt could be flipped to a nice little more pop sound, because even though she does like many genres, I figured the pop sound would be the best to create a song for her. So I came across this sample here and figured it'd be really easy to create something cool. And since I wanted to make it a little bit more pop, I figured, how can I put a beat to this that's a little bit different than just your typical hip hop kicks and bass and such. So I was like, what if I use just like the make up my own like little household kit, drum kit, and use like Foley instruments. So I looked around some of the Foley instruments that I have found in my lovely bulk of samples and sounds, and I came across the cardboard kick, which I need to turn on my household kit real quick. So you get that, and then we also get this canvas chair kick, and then we got the coffee pot rattle, and then a coffee pot scrape. And with those, I was thinking, what would sound cool on here if I just have it playing? I was just like, man, it'd be cool if I had maybe like a yeah, I like that. I just felt that in my bones, so I was just like, let me go ahead and get a clap in there. We can go ahead and use a regular clap, and then maybe have that and then I thought, what's another unorthodox thing I can do? Well, we got this coin shake. Maybe I can use it like a shaker. So let's go ahead and pull that out, right? And if I were to play it by itself, it's just coins. Alright, you go ahead and use it like a shaker. So let's go ahead and add the sample back in. My household kick. And so I was like, what else could I use in here? I guess I can go ahead and get myself a regular hat in here and give it some energy. I'm like, I like that. But we are going to need a little bit more kick. That way it has a little bit more pulse to it. And I was like, alright, I kind of like that. But you know what we should use? A guitar bass instead of an 808, right? Because that'd be more pop-like, right? So let's go. And I was like, I like that. And then I was thinking, so what can I use to give it a little bit more melody than just the piano chords in the back? I was like, maybe like a cool synth, maybe like a bell-like thing. I don't know. Let's figure it out. And I came across this. But then I wanted the melody line to be a little bit longer, so I wanted the melody line to go a little bit longer. So let's go ahead to the chorus here. There you go. And then all you had to do is take out the bell portion, and you get a verse. Right? But then I thought, there's got to be a way I can switch it up a little bit more than that. So I decided, maybe I'd do something cool with the sample. So I pull up this other, I go ahead and clone the sample that I was going to use, and that I have been using as the basis, and I figured, maybe I can do something cool with it. So what I did was I put this lovely love filter on it with the melodic bandpass and what we call the twinkle preset, which is basically kind of like even more of a filter, as well as a sequencer, and it kind of like is a cool little gate that it puts the sample through to create well, I'll let you hear the difference. So when you play it outright, I'm gonna have to give it sound real quick. So that's the sample, you know. We'll go ahead and do it by itself. So I was like, alright, so this is the sample. How can I do something cool with it? Let's add the filter. I'm like, alright, that's kind of cool. It gives it a different feel, but I needed to do more than just that. So I figured I'd go ahead and add the twinkle to it. And then it comes out. Now it's like even cooler, as it's chilling out there in the background. Now it sounds ethereal and sparkling and like fairy-like. And I figured that's perfect. Because even if I were just to take off the regular filter, and I just felt it was still a little bit too present if I were just to do the twinkle, and that's why I have the melodic bandpass on it as well. That way it still stays a little covered and it can play the background and not detract from everything else going on. But it still gives it a completely different feel. And that way, when it switches back, you get the bringing back the full chord sounds better. See the difference? And then I was like, all right, now I got two different ways I can switch up the verse. But what if I go ahead and do everything that I was trying not to do from the outset, which was make a straight up hip hop beat? What if I go ahead and try and make a hip hop beat out of what I got? So I figured, how will I use the sample this time? Well, how about I go ahead and use both samples at once. So I'll go ahead and use the back one and then use them both together. That way you still get the twinkle. And since I'm gonna go ahead and do it hip hop, how about I go the current hip hop and make it more trap? So I'd go ahead and make the claps at halftime. All right, so I got that. I still want to use bits of the household kit. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna still use that shaker in there. So let's do that. Alright, I kind of like that. Go ahead and use it with the clap. That's cool. And then, what else can I do? Well, let me go ahead and get my trap hats in there, right? So let's bring that in. You gotta have your stutters, or else it ain't trap like. Hey. Alright, so now let's get to the part everybody likes. Bass. Alright, that kick was hitting hard enough before. Let's see what we can do with that. Got to be something else in the household kit that I can use, and just to make it different. So I just and I also added just my little what's in there as well. Get the hype going. What? But as you can hear, this canvas kick is what gives it that extra bounce. But yeah, this right here gives the kick just that extra bounce because it's a little bit. It makes just a little bit different. Because without it, when you play it straight, it's just typical. But at the just adds a little bit extra. And then I was like, what's some other extra embellishments I can add in here? Well, how about we have something be like, So I actually found a thing that could do that. And what I found was actually this lovely thing that goes like so. I was like, I can use that. But I don't think I like it going straight like that. So I added this lovely tremolo effect to the volume. That way it goes. So the volume will go up and down quickly, creating this effect. After I turn it on, or it won't play that way. Come on now. I know you want to do it. I guess I'll just solo it. So, that's the way I have it sounding. And then with everything else, it just kind of plays in the background. And then that creates a cool little contrast from the pop beat. So you end up getting something along these lines when you play it in context with the more pop side. All happy go lucky and stuff. I'm gonna redo that for you. So when you actually end up, yes. So when you end up actually playing the pop side, you end up getting just a little look into the producing world. If there's any more of that you'd like to see, please let me know, and I'll do it. And maybe eventually I'll like actually make a whole beat and record that whole process, and end up letting you guys see me make a brand new one. It's been a while, and it's looking like it's time for me to get ready to try and make a new beat tape, but not until I get done with the album. But thank you guys for watching. Threes. Thank you once again for watching this video. If you actually go right over here, you can subscribe for my bi-weekly videos that range from music to comedy to just life stuff. Down here you can check out more of my beats as in the playlist. Over here YouTube recommended something, and over here is my website. Threes.